Got a 2018 Toyota RAV4 4-cylinder, and I'm going to show you today how to do your maintenance required. Visit your dealer. I don't believe in dealers, so I'm going to show you how to do it yourself today. First thing you're going to want to do is let your car idle for about 2 to 4 minutes just to get the oil hot, so you got all your contaminants floating around and not just sitting on the bottom of the pan. Pop your hood. There's your hood release. If you reach under the hood toward the center with your hands, you're gonna go in this motion right here. You're gonna reach underneath. There's a lever right here. It's the hood release. Push it to the left. There's your hood prop. You're gonna prop that up from there, and you're gonna go into that hole right there in the hood. There's your oil filled cap right there. This requires 0W20. You're gonna take off your cap, put it up here so you don't lose it. This car requires 0W20, 4.5 quarts. And it makes more sense to just buy a 5-quart. It's cheaper that way. Here's your part number for the filter. M1C25 1 alpha. Let me show you what the filter looks like. In the filter box, you're gonna have 2 O-rings. You're gonna have your cartridge. This ain't like the old-fashioned oil filters that you just spin on. These are cartridge types. This is the drain valve. You're gonna have to drain the oil filter housing. Little tool to take off the oil filter housing cap. Go to AutoZone. You need a 64 millimeter 14 flute. That's what it looks like right there. That's the wrench, 1/2-inch drive. Part number on that one is W54076. Also gonna need a ratchet, 14 millimeter shallow socket. You're also gonna need a 3/8 3-inch extension. You need 1/2-inch drive, a ratchet, with either a 3-inch or a 6-inch extension. You're gonna need something to catch the oil. Looking from the passenger side front, got your exhaust. Right here's your oil filter cap. There's your drain plug on here. Follow this straight toward the back. There's your drain plug. Oil's coming out. You're gonna let that drain completely. Go to your oil filter housing. Put your 3/8 extension in there. Open your cap up. You're gonna have some oil comes out. Make sure your drain pan is underneath to catch it. I just let it come out all the way, let it fall, and it just drips out. Nothing major comes out of there. You're gonna take your drain plug that comes with the filter, the drain valve. You're gonna thread it into here, like so. And this is when all the oil is gonna come out. Okay, don't put your hand underneath. And just tighten it up. That releases the oil. Why did Toyota do it this way? I have no clue. Just to make your life hell, I guess. Now that that's completely empty, you're gonna unscrew it. You can throw this away because it comes new in every filter you get. Oil filter wrench. Put it in your extension with your ratchet. Put it in here. Crack it loose. Be able to do it with your hand once you crack it loose. There you go, a little bit comes out, no big deal. Oil filter comes out with it. That's what it looks like underneath. There's your old oil filter. This is the plug that goes attached to the bottom of this housing that he took off. There's your O-ring, it sits on top. You're gonna take that O-ring off. If you look right here closely, you see another O-ring. The O-ring sits in the grooves. You got your threads, then you have your ring right here. Take a pick or a small screwdriver, pull that right out. If you look closely, you have a gap right here. That's where the new O-ring sits. Take fresh oil and lubricate your O-ring. Just put it in your finger and run it through like that. Put your new one on. Work it down into the groove. There's the groove. Sits in fresh. Take your old filter, pull it straight up and out. You can discard that one. Take your new filter, sits right on top. It's spring loaded, so it moves around. You're gonna turn this over. You're gonna take your new small O-ring, lubricate it with oil. It sits right inside the groove on top, like so. Take your drain cap. You're gonna tighten this on here. In the description below, I'll put the torque specs on here, okay? Take your oil filter and the cap. You're gonna thread it on like normal. Finger tight first. After you torqued it down with your hand, you're gonna take your wrench and you're gonna just tighten it up. And like I said, I'll have the torque specs for you down in the description section. With the housing tightened up, you're gonna take your 3/8. You're gonna snug that up. You don't wanna go super tight because you could crack the housing. You're gonna take your drain plug. It's completely drained, 14 millimeter. And you're gonna tighten that up. Next thing you're gonna wanna do is fill up your oil with 4.5 quarts. After you cap it off, make sure you're clean. You're gonna start the car, let it run for 1 minute. Let it sit for about another minute. There's your dipstick tube. There's your dipstick. Pull out your dipstick. You're gonna wipe it down. You're gonna reinsert it. Pull it back out. You're gonna check to make sure you're close. See that little hole right there? You're gonna make sure you're close to that. You don't wanna go past it because then you blow seals and you mess yourself up. And you don't wanna go all the way down here because you're low in oil. So you wanna be as close to this as you can, which is 4.6 quarts. Okay, you're gonna get back in the car when you're done outside with all the oil change. You're gonna put the key to the run position. You're not gonna start it, just the run. That's gonna pop up again. Go down to this button. Push it once, that comes up. Okay? This might come up, whatever you have it on. You're gonna wanna go to the section with the gear shift level, with the gear on it, see it? You're gonna wanna go to vehicle settings. You're using this, up and down, okay? You go down to vehicle settings, or up to vehicle settings. You're gonna push the center button in. Turns into that. Then if you see on the bottom, it says you push the center button in to reset your schedule of maintenance, okay? So this is the center button. You're gonna push it, hold it down. It's gonna ask you, do you wanna reset the data? You're gonna go up to yes, push the center button in, boom. This data has been reset. Right now you're at 100% oil change life remaining. And when it comes up again, time to do it, you know how to do it. Whenever I change the oil, I also rotate my tires. When you rotate your tires, you're gonna wanna take front one, put it to the back. Back one to the front. Another side, same thing. There's your, this is where you jack it up from. If you look under here, that's the lip right there. You can jack it up. If you jack it up high enough, you'll get the back side up at the same time. You have a good jack. Off the floor, one jack. Now you're gonna get jack stands for safety. And you're gonna wanna put it underneath here and secure it in 2 spots. One in the front, one in the back. Right on this lip right here. Drive, I'm using this, you don't need this. Impact wrench, battery powered impact. You're gonna need either a 1/2-inch drive ratchet, breaker bar, and you're gonna need a 13/16 socket. Normally you don't wanna use these sockets on an impact drive because these could break. Never seen one break yet, but you can break it if it's tight enough. You're gonna want the black one if you're using it on the impact. You're gonna come to your tire. You're gonna grab right behind here. You're gonna pry this hubcap right off. Comes right off. So take all 10 nuts off since you have both sides up at the same time. Now you have your 10 lug nuts off. Like I said, back tire goes to the front tire goes to the back. Fine. Always you're gonna start it with finger. You get a couple threads in there. You don't want to try to just gun them on without starting with my hand first. You cross-thread it, you can mess yourself up. Finish it off by installing your hubcap. If you look at your hubcap, got that small circle right there. That hole lines up with your valve. Put that in there, and you're going to tap them on. That's it. So, then you're done. Do the same thing on the other side. And that's how you do oil change, tire rotation on a 2018 Toyota RAV4. Questions, comments, leave them below. I'll get back to everybody.